Welcome friends to the Do Less Be More channel. I'm Amy, and in today's video, we're going to cover two different approaches to dealing with burnout so that you can decide for yourself which approach is best for you. Now, before we dive in, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Your support means so much to me as I continue to work through my fear of being seen and being on camera by creating a weekly video for you to help everyone here on their own Do Less Be More journey. If you've been experiencing prolonged or chronic stress, it's so important to do everything that you can to take care of your well-being and prevent burnout if possible. Burnout takes a significant amount of time to recover from, especially if you've also been hit with adrenal fatigue. You can't expect to take a 2-week vacation and be over burnout. It simply doesn't work like that. Just like treating other ailments of the body and mind, there are two general approaches to dealing with burnout. For example, when we are experiencing pain in our body, Western and pharmaceutical medicine has one approach, which is to address the symptoms, whereas Eastern and holistic modalities tend to dive deeper into assessing and understanding the root cause of the pain. So the two approaches are, 1, to take action to reduce the symptoms, or 2, to assess the source of the problem and then take action. So let's dive into the first approach, taking action to tackle the symptoms of burnout. This is a lot of what you will find on the internet when you search for burnout remedies. So let's think about the symptoms of burnout. Well, there are a ton, and burnout can manifest differently from person to person, but generally speaking, some common symptoms of burnout are fatigue and exhaustion, irritability and frustration, and a lack of motivation or even apathy and overt cynicism towards the people you work with and the company you work for. When we look at fatigue and exhaustion, you can't sleep no matter how depleted and worn out you feel mentally, emotionally, and physically. When you apply the approach of taking action to tackle the symptoms, you start focusing on all the things you can purchase to improve your sleep hygiene so you can sleep better, like cooling sheets and eye masks and blue blockers. You spend time researching and taking the best supplements for energy, mood, or sleep. So in these cases, you're trying to address the symptom of fatigue. When it comes to extreme irritability or frustration, you take action by trying to fix all the problems at work yourself or micromanaging in hopes of getting rid of or reducing the issues that you believe make you so irritable. When you've got no motivation left, when you're experiencing apathy and cynicism, you apply the approach of tackling these symptoms of low motivation or apathy by spending all your time and energy on finding a new job because you believe that the job or the company that you work for is the reason for your burnout symptoms. The thing about this approach, taking action to tackle the symptoms, is that this is simply a band-aid solution, and similar to pharmaceutical or Western medicine, it will often further complicate your situation, bringing on different symptoms to deal with as you work to mask the primary ones. This approach will continue to perpetuate the problem. You may experience temporary relief, but the cycle will continue and often will return more intensely. I know this firsthand. It took me 3 burnout experiences to learn because the first 2 times I experienced burnout, I took actions to address the symptoms, such as quitting school, quitting my job, or ending a relationship, instead of going inward. I hope that you don't have to learn the hard way like I did, and that you'll faithfully lean into the second approach instead. So the second approach is all about finding the source of the problem, or more appropriately, the source of your misalignment that has caused the burnout. It requires you to assess the mindset and behaviors that are impacting your emotional state while remembering, accepting, and releasing everything that is beyond your control. You need to look at your personal root cause in order to create the internal perspective shift necessary to move out of burnout for good. This self-awareness and inner standing will help you to rise to a new level of consciousness so that you can shift out of the state of being that brought on burnout in the first place. Burnout is a condition of mental and emotional distress. It's a result of prolonged misalignment. So to employ the second approach to burnout, you need to hone your skills of self-awareness. This takes work, but it's not impossible, and the payoff is peace of mind, it's joy, it's freedom, it's living your best life and leaving burnout behind you permanently. So, commit to finding the source of burnout. Hone your self-awareness skills so that you can understand your source of misalignment that has caused the burnout. Now, if you're feeling called to take this particular approach to dealing with your burnout, I want to offer you a couple reflective journal prompts to get you started on your self-awareness journey. Number 1, what thoughts of the ego are you conditioning yourself to believe to be true that are not coherent with your inner truth or with your soul? these perpetual thoughts that become beliefs that are out of alignment with your highest self, these are the ones causing the prolonged mental and emotional distress that have led you to burnout. So, what false beliefs do you have about yourself that are not in alignment with your highest truth? And number 2, what thoughts are fueling your emotional state that is then driving your behavior? Results, as in the outcome of the actions or the ways in which you behave and interact with the world around you, are a reflection of your state of mind. Your thoughts will always be echoed in your outcome. We create the world we live in. So if you don't like what you see, figure out what recurring thought patterns you've had that have caused you to take the actions that brought you to this place of burnout. So what thoughts are driving the behaviors that have manifested this burnout reality you're now living in? Okay. If you're not in burnout yet, but the chronic stress is telling you you're about to reach that tipping point, do this work now. Figure out the true source of your chronic stress, because burnout is no joke. And if you're already in it, you know what I'm talking about, and I feel for you. And from my own personal burnout history, I can tell you that it is absolutely possible to get out of this place of burnout for good. But you have a choice to make. You can do what I did the first couple of times I experienced burnout and take action to tackle the symptoms. Or you can address the source of the problem by honing your self-awareness skills so that you can be free from burnout once and for all. And as always, if you need support, I am here for you. If you know someone who's experiencing chronic stress or burnout right now, help them out by sharing this video with them. It may be exactly what they need to hear to make true change happen for themselves. Also, be sure to let me know in the comments what you think about these 2 approaches. Like the video and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.